All right, great. Welcome, everybody. Again, my name is Darnell Self, and I live here in Maryland. I live in Prince George's County, Maryland, born and raised. We call it the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I'm like 10 minutes outside of DC, about 15, 20 minutes outside of Virginia, but I live right here in Maryland. And I was probably raised like most of you. My parents told me to go to school, get some good grades, get out and get a good job. And if you're watching this today, the first thing I want you to know is that I started this project you're going to take a look at because I was unhappy with where I was. But not everybody's in that same situation. In fact, not everything's for everybody, and not everybody's for everything. So my job today is just to educate you on a platform, on a vehicle that's been a blessing for my life. And if it makes sense to you, awesome. If not, that's okay too. Again, not everything's for everybody, but I do believe the services that we'll share with you all today, everybody should at least be empowered with. They should at least be knowledgeable of. And my mother used to always say, if you know better, you ought to do better. And if I didn't know better, I couldn't have done better. And so I'm very thankful for someone introducing me to this information back in my 20s. I'm in my 50s now. I know I still look like I'm in my 20s. Not really. But excited to be able to share this information with you all today. If you guys are ready, let me get started. I'm going to share my screen here. That will help you to digest the information a little bit better. Checking out the visuals here. So give me 1 second. And I'm going to share my slides with you all. And what I'll do in the beginning is just share a quick Dun & Bradstreet, my quick background, and then get right into why someone invited you here today. So my wife and I have four amazing young adults. We just celebrated 30 years of marriage. And so we met at the mall, believe it or not. We were both working part-time at the mall while we were in college. She was going to a college here in Maryland called Morgan State, and I was going to Bowie State, but we worked there at the same store. And we started dating and then got married. And I was working as a manager when I graduated from college. And if you ever manage retail, you know my hours. You open up the store when it opens, you close it when it closes. And the weekends are the most important times. Typically in retail, they're the busiest time. And so I was there every Saturday and Sunday. And if you're from the Prince George's County area, yes, that's me. You saw me there. And I just missed out on everything that happened in my personal life on a Saturday or Sunday. My kids' sporting events, birthday parties, family reunions, church. If it happened on a Saturday or Sunday, you can count me out. And I just thought to myself, no way am I going to do this for the rest of my life. And so I stepped out on faith. I became an entrepreneur at the age of 25. And unfortunately, I went through a lot of stuff that I tried. I don't know if you ever tried anything before that didn't work out. And thank God that didn't anchor me, right? Because sometimes we look at our past and that dictates our future. And I just believe that we all have a day one. At any moment, we can say, you know what, today is a day that changed things. And I believe that that was my season of preparation. All the things I tried before were not did not define who I was. In fact, it taught me a lot of things. And so because of that, a friend of mine introduced me to the company I'll share with you all today. And I almost said, man, I tried so many different things, but maybe I should just get a regular job. And I'm so thankful I did. I didn't say that because my wife was able to walk away from her job a year later at BET. She started working at Black Entertainment Television. Her major is broadcast journalism from college, her bachelor's. And she was able to walk away from that on maternity leave. We call it eternity leave. She was pregnant with our youngest son there, kneeling in the middle. And she never went back. So that was 24 years ago. So we've been stay-at-home parents for our four amazing young adults now for over 20 years. That's been a blessing. My wife and I were blessed to help 40 people to earn six figures before I turned 40 years old. And that felt good to know that we were impacting and empowering other people. Now that's over 100 people on our team that we've helped to make six figures. I don't say that to brag or boast or to be pompous or arrogant. I say that because I believe, look, you don't have to talk about what kind of tree you are if you can show people your fruit. And so it's a blessing to have so much fruit here with our business. Most of our income today is passive and residual income. I'll talk about that in a little bit. That means that it's reoccurring. And I don't care how good you are at what you do. If you're not able to do it anymore, God forbid, get sick or something happens, and you stop getting paid, that's called scary. It's nice to have a reoccurring, predictable cash flow that comes in every single day. And that's what we're blessed to have today. The majority of our income is not what I do here in my 50s, but what I did in my 20s and my 30s and my 40s that still pays us. in our 50s. And so I'm going to go through this presentation real quickly for you guys today. These are some of the folks on our team. And again, I just wanted you to have a visual because I share with you there's a lot of folks and they're from all different walks of life. They're from Canada, from Hawaii, from here all throughout the States, and GED and PhD, and those who already earned seven figures, $1 million before they joined the business, and those who didn't know where their next dollar was coming from, like me, because I'd made some bad mistakes in my 20s. And when I started, I didn't even have a car. I was driving my father's pickup truck. And so when you're taking a look at a business, a good business plan must have these three things in place, ladies and gentlemen. One, you want to make sure the opportunity is backed by a great company. In other words, people are tired of get rich quicks. They're tired of companies that are here today, gone tomorrow. They want something that's solid with great products, viable products, and a great opportunity. And we get paid every day. So I'm glad that someone invited you here, because you're like, look, I need some money like yesterday. We're going to show you how to start getting paid like right away by offering value to the marketplace. A system. There should be a system in place, meaning that a proven system, not a hypothesis. We're not here with theory. What we're going to talk about today is not up for discussion. It's non-negotiable. We got historical data. It's already worked for us for so many years and for so many people. And then a community is important, right? A community of leaders and mentors, big thinkers, and true partners that are going to show you the way. And if you're anything like me, I've always felt like, man, if you did it and you're willing to show me how you did it, then I can do it too. Okay, let me just hang on to your belt loops and I can get there too. So we're going to share with you today how you can do that in the system that we have in place. Listen, if you've not heard of this, there's three forms of income that you can generate typically. One, linear income. That means it's transactional. You're trading your time for money, whether you're a dentist, whether you're a plumber, whether you're in real estate. Typically you sell a house, you make money, you don't. If at the mall, if I went to work, I got paid. If I didn't go to work, I didn't get paid. Now it's called leverage income. Leverage income, if you're on the broker side of real estate, then yes, the agent can sell the home and the brokers can still make a piece. If you're on the leverage side of dentistry, if you have a team of dentists, even when you take off, other dentists can take on your clients or patients while you're gone, so the dentistry practice still makes money. But if you're the sole practitioner, if you're the only dentist, then it's only a linear income. So I hope you guys get what I'm saying. So a team that's participating can offer leveraged income. I love that. And then residual income is like royalty in the film and music industry. It means you do something one time, you get paid for it over and over and over again for it. Now, let me talk about location freedom, because a lot of folks have not talked about that. Location freedom means no matter where you are, your income is not dictated by your location. This is us in Morocco just a couple of weeks ago. And whether I was in a hot air balloon or staying in this luxury tent in the Agafe Stone Desert, which is beautiful, by the way. And a luxury tent just means it's a bathroom inside. It's still in the middle of nowhere. But our income was still increasing while we were gone. How is that possible? I'm going to share that with you today, guys, because again, if you know better, you ought to do better. No one taught me this. And I'm so grateful I get to teach it to others. This is us in Rio de Janeiro for the Summer Olympics. This is looking out of our hotel here down at the beach, and that's the beach volleyball Olympic event. How about, and it looks like a postcard over there to the right, but this is in Iceland, Reykjavik, Iceland. Some partners and I, it's like 20 of us, we rented these Land Rovers driving through Reykjavik, Iceland, and my wife and I are there in the Blue Lagoon down at the bottom. Can you imagine 30 degrees outside, but 90 degrees inside this natural lagoon? And so again, guys, I'm only sharing this with you, not because many of you travel, you can do amazing things. But it is awesome when your income is not dictated by where you are. In fact, your income goes up. No employees, right? We're talking about limited expenses, but we found a way, guys, in a system. And because of this system, my kids have had a different exposure. We've been in this business for 26 years. Our kids were 8 and 2 years old. Now they're 34, 28, 24, and 22. All of their tuition, $400,000 in tuition, all paid for because of the vehicle I'm going to share with you all today. And it's a blessing, guys. And so I'm honored to be able to share this with you guys today. Let's get started. Listen, our company is 52 years old. So we're not a startup company. We're not wondering if it works. It's solid. And we know that. So again, I think that's important. It's the first thing you should know, because again, if you're looking for something that's long-term, not fleeting satisfaction, but you're looking for something that is not here today, gone tomorrow, something that's solid, you found it. We have 4 million customers that we protect across the United States and Canada. So again, we're not hoping. When you got 4 million people that voluntarily subscribe to something, you're doing something right. Our vision is to provide equal access to the liberty, equality, opportunity, and justice that all of us deserve. So what we've done is participated in something called disruptive innovation. It's what Amazon did to the retail space. It's what Shopify and Apple Music did to the music space. It's what Uber's done to the transportation space. It's what Netflix has done to the video rental space. You guys get my point. Airbnb has done it to the accommodation space. Is when you take an existing model, you make it simpler, easier, more affordable. What about the justice system? Well, at $300 an hour, no one could afford it. But LegalShield to the rescue, guys. And a lot of people think, well, I'm not a bad person. I don't need a lawyer. But it's about bad things happening to good people, too. Good people are treated unfairly and taken advantage of and overcharged for repairs. And for literally about $1 a day, you have access to our services. Now, we have a portfolio of services. And so we're not going to go over all those today, but we have a gun owner's plan, a commercial driver's plan, a small business plan. But I'm going to go over our preferred legal plan. Now, we have plans that cover even more than what I'm going to go over today, and we also have a basic plan. But this is our kind of our flagship product. And so what happens here is to be able to pick up the phone, press a button. You have an app you'll download from the person who invites you to check this out. That's how the company knows who to attribute the commission to, because someone said, hey, here's my link, download the app, or here's my link, go to my website and sign up. Now you have access to lawyers for $1 a day. And look, let me just cover this right up front. Because the only thing I've gotten over 26 years I've been in this business, from 28 years old to 54 now, has not been, man, that's too much for a lawyer. You're not right charging people $1 a day. The only thing I've had is, how can you do it for so little? But it's not your dollar, my dollar, but shared economy, group buying power has allowed us to do this. So to be able to pick up the phone and say, look, I just need help. Now, can they do this? It's like when I had a situation in my truck and the dealership didn't do what I thought they should do. And so I called LegalShield. I would have never called LegalShield, by the way. I would have said, who's your supervisor? Who else can I speak to? I would have complained to my wife. You're not going to believe what they did to me, baby. But guess what I did? I called LegalShield. They said, based on where you bought the truck, the make and model, the issue you're having, if they keep the truck for 3 more days in the state of Virginia with the Cadillac Escalade with the steering problem, it falls under the lemon law. They're going to have to give you a new truck. I would have never known that, guys. No, don't judge me. But I was so excited. I called the dealership back that next day, which was the second day. And I said, listen, I just got off the phone with my counsel, and they just told me, if you keep my truck for 1 more day, you're going to have to give me a brand new truck off your showroom floor. I had a showroom floor to it and everything. I thought it was bad, right? You know what they said, though, sir? They know what they said. They said, sir, your truck will be ready this evening. I'm like, no, what a donut. If I waited 1 more day. Anyway, my point is, guys, you'll have information that we typically don't have. This is why there's a chasm between the haves and the have-nots. The have-nots are winging their decisions. They're just hoping when they sign a contract, it's okay. But the haves are getting good counsel from lawyers who are helping them to make the best decisions, thereby them having more in life, not less. They'll write letters and make phone calls on your behalf. You know, a lawyer writing a letter means a lot more than you and I writing a letter or making a phone call. I had a furniture company that says, nothing we can do. Sorry, you've had the sofa for over 3 days now. I said, but it's a rip at the bottom. Yeah, but you signed off on a delivery, sir, that you said it looked good. I said it did. I didn't notice it until later on. It said it was nothing I could do. But how many people know just because it's their policy doesn't mean that it's the law? LegalShield said there's 3 types of consumer warranties in the state of Maryland. And this one falls under some code they mentioned. They said, we can make a phone call for you. I said, great. They did so. The same furniture company says, nothing we can do. Called me back and said, Mr. Self, we're going to send someone out to see if we can replace that, to repair that sofa. And if not, we'll replace it. I'm thinking, they just told me there's nothing they can do. But that's the power, guys, of someone knowing your rights and having your back. They review contracts and documents before you sign your name to them, residential loan document review for your primary residence, even residential tenant lease. Guys, this is huge for advice, review of documents, negotiations with the landlord. You know how many people could use this, but they just don't know we exist? With our preferred legal plan, we also have will preparation. Most of us don't have a will, guys. We all need one. I'm just so thankful for LegalShield because my family has benefited from this. My dad passed a few years ago. Thankfully, he had his will done because of LegalShield. And I'm the only child, but I've seen folks, only children still have to fight through probate. So my point is, make sure you get your will done, your durable power of attorney, physician's directive, and living will. When my uncle passed, my mom and her sisters didn't have to argue back and forth on whether they should disconnect their brother, my uncle, from life support because it was in his living will what he would want to have happen in that situation. Traffic ticket assistance, this one's 2 covered violations per person under the plan. So if you have teenage drivers, You drive like a teenager. This is going to be really good for you. Okay. And if you need them, they can give you advice on what to do. But if you need them to represent you, it's just a $79 flat fee, guys. This is huge. Keep the points off your license so your auto insurance doesn't go up. Right. My daughter used this in Atlanta. That's where she went to school. But she's from Maryland. So she was issued a ticket because she had her cell phone in her hand. And she told the officer, hey, look, I have my nav system on because I don't know where I'm going. You can see my tags. It says Maryland. I go to school here, school called Spelman in Atlanta. He was like, sorry, you're getting your ticket. You can't have your cell phone in your hand. Well, guess what? The firm in Maryland, because your provider law firm always answers the phone first, called a lawyer in Atlanta. The lawyer in Atlanta said, is this your first offense? She said, yes. They said, oh, great, because if you can show that you now have the device that holds your phone, you can either take a screenshot if you ordered it from Amazon, what have you, or if you have one, just take a picture and send it to me, because if this is your first offense in the state of Georgia, we can get it dismissed. No points, no fine, court costs, nothing. Isn't this powerful, guys? So again, this is important to have access to it, but most folks don't know it exists. Property damage, e-signatures, unlimited there for you guys. You also have uncontested name change, uncontested minor child adoption, prenuptial and postnuptial preparation, uncontested civil annulment or separation, uncontested divorce, and covered civil trial defense. Guys, this one is just 180 days, 6 months, that you have to be a member before you can access these areas. But again, it's going to be huge. My aunt saved thousands of dollars on her divorce because of LegalShield. We also have IRS audit assistance, 24-hour access 7 days a week in emergency situations. You're being questioned, detained, or arrested. You don't argue back and forth with law enforcement. That's not the right thing to do. But if you're being questioned, detained, or arrested, you do have your Miranda right, the right to remain silent and the right to a lawyer. So you have the right to say, listen, if I'm being questioned, detained, or arrested, officer, please allow me to exercise my Miranda and talk to my lawyer. That's the script. My kids know it. My mom knows it. It just makes sense, okay? 24 hours a day, guys, 7 days a week. Online notarization, up to 5 per year. Now, I don't know how many people have used some of these things I'm going over right now, but I already know you pay hundreds of dollars. All of this for the same $37.95, 25% preferred member discount off of the provider law firm standard hourly rate. That's pre-existing condition on anything that falls outside of the hours that you have covered. For an example, civil trial defense, or something that may be a criminal matter. And you get member perks, so you get to save on brands you know and love. 400 vendors give us a discount. Guys, that's our legal plan. Now we have an ID Shield plan that helps us out with the #1 crime called identity theft. We have a family plan, $34.95, and an individual plan, $19.95. This is 3-bureau monitoring. By the way, for those who are watching this from Canada, there's some slight differences. So certainly get back with the person who invited you out. And even a couple of states have some slight differences. So when you go to the person's site who invited you to check this out, and you put in your province or your state, you'll get the plan choices and selections for you. So here's what we do. We give you a credit score tracker, which you may or may not want to see, but we're going to show you your credit score anyway. It's good to know where you're starting. And then we're going to monitor everything that matters: social security number, passport, or social insurance number if you're Canada, driver's license. This is all important, guys, because we realize that finances are less than 30% of identity theft cases. Most folks are like, oh, I have that with my banking institution or my credit repository. But guys, it's bigger than that. So you want to make sure you're being monitored, whether it be the dark web, privacy management. But what we're going to do is make sure that we restore your identity back to pre-theft status with a $3 million identity fraud protection. And if you're like me and you travel a lot, it's just important to have all the additional services like our virtual private network. Perhaps you need a sex offender search, like we have 2 grandkids now, so we're going off to a new school. It's important for us to see if there's any sex offenders in that area. We do password manager, guys. We have Trend Michael Maximum Security, which is just helping you out with malware infections, a fancy way of saying that. But guys, we do all of this, plus give you access to live support, because we don't know what to do. The average person, this is why we're one of the hottest employee benefits today. And so if you know people in human resources or someone who's a business owner that have employees, we're one of the hottest employee benefits today, because employers are tired of employees taking time off, trying to handle situations they're not proficient in. But with the limited power of attorney, guys, we can actually have our investigators going as you or for you to restore your identity. And this is the reason why we're growing so fast. Remember I talked about member perks? And I said 400 vendors give us a discount. We'll list you just 20 here or so, just to give you an example. Costco's, Samsung. I have a Samsung refrigerator. I saved hundreds of dollars. I bought my daughter a Jeep Wrangler. I saved a couple of $1,000s. I rented a car. My last trip, I saved 17 bucks. Not a whole lot of money, but guys, it adds up. It's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep. And again, it's powerful. Make sure it's on the same app as your legal app. So make sure you check out your member perks. All right, I know. Someone told you there was some money to be made. And my last 3 minutes here, before I turn it over to some testimonies, is going to be about how we get paid. Listen, we get paid anywhere from $80 to up to $416 every time someone goes to our website, or we send them a link. I'm smiling now because I can't believe I get to do this for a living. Like, this is what I've done from 28 years old, 29, 30, 31, all the way up to 54 years old. This is it. Now, I have investments and other things, but this is all I do for a living. My wife and I, from home, for this long, because everybody needs it and no one has it. Less than 3% of people across Canada and the United States have a legal plan. So the competitive landscape favors us. It's $300 an hour for a lawyer or us. And it's not if, it's just when. So even my buddies who are like, man, let me think about it, see about it, pray about it, talk to my spouse about it. All good. Hey, man, no pressure. They always come back. You know why? It's not if they need it, it's just when. And when they need it, they got to come to you or spend $300 an hour. And when they come to you, the company's going to pay you the next day, either $80 or up to $416. Let's just take the bottom level. You're just getting started today. You send someone a video. Like, hey, I just saw something I think would be interesting to you. I'm going to send it to you. If I sent you the video, would you watch it? They say, sure. You can send them a 10-minute video, just goes over the product if you want, not even the business. They're like, yeah, that makes sense. They want it. You get paid $80. They get the legal plan. That's a $37.95 legal plan. And by the way, we have a premium plan that covers like for not just a will, but a trust, right? Revocable trust for flat $250. So there's some other things, right? So, but let's just say they get the $37.95 preferred plan with a $34.95 identity theft plan. That's $80. Go out and get your first 3 customers. You can do the math. That's $240. By the way, to start your own LegalShield business, it's a one-time $49. You're already in profit mode. How many businesses can you start and get 3 customers and be in profit mode? How about hardly none? Guys, it just makes sense. By the way, 3 customers, one inevitably is going to say, you get paid off of this? You say, yeah. And they become an associate. Now you get a promotion. Guess who dictated that promotion? You did. At my job, my boss dictated when I got a raise. Here, you get to dictate it. Now you're making $100 for your 4th customer, $100 for your 5th customer. You can do the math. 10 customers, 10 times 100 at that level, at one of the lower levels, that's $1,000. That day, that month, that week, is your business. By the way, do that in your first 20 days. You don't have to do it fast. But if you do, company sends you an extra $200. Go out and get a few more customers, you and your team, $500 bonus. We helping people do that their first week, $200 and the $500. That's $700 plus the commissions over there. That's $1,000 week 1. If you're like me, that was my belief check. $1,000 felt like $1 million because I'm like, man, this works. This is real. Like a real service people really need. You really get paid. Okay. That goes all the way up, okay? Now, for the busy people, let me talk to you all real quickly because I know busy people, all my busy friends, like getting paid while they're busy, okay? And I know that's you too. So you're a manager today. You're at 132. Check this out. Darnell's on your team. I'm at 80. The difference between those 2 levels over to the right there, 32 plus 20, that's $52. So every time Darnell makes 80, you make 52. You can be in Houston, and I'm in the DC area. You don't even know my customer. For all those like, I'm not that good at sales. I'm not that good at talking to people. First of all, you send a video out. You didn't do the talking. Someone invites you tonight. I'm doing the talking. So they say, makes sense to me. I need the service. I could have used this a long time ago. They get the service, right? So if I'm the one sharing the service, I make the 80. You didn't even share the service. You were busy all week. Busy people. You made $52 for the time you didn't have on your calendar. What if I got 10 customers? I made 800. You made 52 times my 10 customers who you didn't know, over $500. By the way, that's an example because I couldn't get 10 at the lower level. I would already have a promotion. That's what happened to me. Introduce Mike Humes, who delivered mail for a living. Mike Humes, one of the first people on our team to make 6 figures. When he made 6 figures, he quit his job as a mailman because he never made 6 figures running from a dog as a mailman in Georgetown. That year, the company sent us $30,000. That's when I got it. I thought, hold up. I made $30,000 for something I didn't do. Was Mike Humes mad? No, because he still made 6 figures. Was I mad if he made more than me? No. See, look, at my job, my boss always made more. His boss made more than both of us. It's called a corporate pyramid. LegalShield flipped it upside down, said, pay the person who's doing the work the most. The person who's not doing the work won't mind getting a small piece of something they didn't even do. We don't make money by stepping on people and keeping them down here. We make money by lifting people up and bringing them with us. So when 10 people on our team started making six figures, the company sent us 30,000 times 10, 300,000. 20 people on our team started making six figures, the company sent us 600,000. 30 people, 900,000. That's why this has been a blessing, guys, because I get paid by making a difference in people's lives. I get to make money with people, not off of people. And that's the beauty here. By the way, residual income, we can pay you another 10% of what we paid you up front. Isn't that powerful? Residually for the life of the customer. We have Performance Club. Those are just extra perks, trips I mentioned earlier on, all expense paid trips that you can take. And all you have to do, guys, if you decide you want this to be your side business, become an associate. It's a one-time $49, write it off. You can work from anywhere, set your own hours. There's upfront money. There's residual income. You can will this business to your kids or whoever you want to. It's a willable book of business. You get an alignment with a personal mentor. That means the person that introduced you just got started last week. They can't show you what to do yet, but that's okay. They're going to align you with a mentor that's teaching them. That way you both have an equal chance of success. The only ongoing expense is free the first month, and the $25 a month, $24.95. For all your digital tools. That means I can send out a video. It'll tell me if people started watching the video. It'll tell me if I have an associate in California that I need to help to hit their bonus. I can run my metrics no matter where I am in this world. Literally, guys, all for $25 a month. I didn't have to create my own website. I didn't have to create the checkout. All that's done for us. Free the first month, $25 a month. Listen, guys, here's what I want to do real quickly. I'm going to go out to a couple of folks here before we end this presentation, because I know sometimes folks say, well, I know an attorney. I am an attorney. I have friends that are attorneys. Me too. But not every lawyer knows every area of law, like every doctor doesn't know every area of medicine. And we just happen to not just have an attorney that's a friend of our community, but someone who's actually building her own LegalShield business. So we're going to go out to Janice Tom to share her testimony with you all today. Over to you, Attorney Tom. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much, Mr. Self, for having me and the opportunity to share my story. I hope it resonates with at least one person tonight. So my Dun & Bradstreet, as Mr. Self shared, I am a licensed attorney, specialized in labor and employment law, specifically management defense work for several years. So, what does all that mean? The work I did protected big business. So my clients included American Airlines, Dunkin' Donuts, for those that are in the Maryland region, Safeway, which is a local grocery chain. And they basically had the resources to defend lawsuits filed by current or former employees. And many times I would see employees that had valid cases, whether it was a wrongful termination case, a sexual harassment case, discrimination in the workplace, they just didn't have the resources to defend themselves. And because big business could afford to pay little old me the big bucks to defend them, oftentimes those cases got dismissed. So when I was introduced to LegalShield a few short years ago, it just made sense. Now employees have the same access as their employers to the legal system. As you know, the service could help in other areas of law, so it was a no-brainer for me to get involved once I learned that. As I shared, I am an employment attorney, but trust me, this doesn't stop family and friends from coming to me with other legal situations. And why is that? Because I'm the only attorney they know. But like doctors, we specialize. You wouldn't go to a podiatrist if you had a mole on your neck. You would see a dermatologist. And it's the same thing for attorneys. We specialize just like doctors do. And while I do know a little bit about other areas of law, trust me, you don't want me representing you in your child custody dispute or bankruptcy filing. So learning that LegalShield could solve this issue for me, that I could actually send family and friends to attorneys who actually specialize in the area of law that they needed assistance in, it was a no-brainer. So family, it just makes sense. The wealthy and upper class, they do not live life without having their attorney involved. LegalShield just levels that playing field for the rest of America. And for that, thank you, Mr. Self, for allowing me to share.
Oh, thank you so much for taking time out to share with our audience today. We really appreciate you. We're going to go out to the Lows now in Houston. That's Dr. Sonia Lowe and Brad Lowe. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much for your willingness to be on with us today.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having us. But I am excited to be able to share. And I'm just like her. I pray somebody gets this message. We are pastors, of course, small business owners as well. And of course, we're busy. There's a lot of things that we do. We own several companies. But in our reality, most people think that because you're a business owner, they look at the outside and think that everything is so perfect in your world. Well, pride was there too, because in June, we had to close the doors to one of our businesses. And of course, that hit home, it hit hard. And of course, you're looking at $47,000 worth of debt when we closed the doors, and $21,000 of that debt was a lawsuit. So it was really real. We actually had what's called an accounts receivable loan. And guess what? When there's no business, there's no accounts receivable. And so, of course, that company they felt like they were in jeopardy for their money. So they came after us, not just that business, but all of my businesses and me personally. And so, of course, I thank God for LegalShield, because it was so amazing that attorney picked up the phone on my behalf and actually called over to the attorney just to say, hey, she really wants to pay this. Is there any way that we could come up to an agreement? Guys, what was so amazing, they did come up with an agreement, but that was going to be 28 months of literally a big payment that we were going to have to pay. I went, no. I said, so you know what? I remembered my mentor, literally, who literally is just a friend. And I watched him. And of course, what happened? I went to him and I said, hey, I need to know what you're doing and how you're doing it, because I need to earn money and I need to do it fast. And he said, step into the system. And I said, okay. So in June, June the 28th, I stepped into the system. But the main thing that I did is I engaged, guys, and I just did whatever he told me to do. I didn't worry about anything else. I just said, I'll do what you say do, because you've had success. And because of that, in first 3 days sharing, just sending people to a presentation just like this, we earned $1,300. Well, seeing is believing. So of course it made it viable for Brad and I to realize, you know what, this is a good vehicle. Well, of course, we just took the next month. Well, rewind. We actually got paid on Monday morning, because we get paid daily here. So Monday morning, it was like, yes, for us. Well, we just took the next month and just invited more people to a presentation just like this. And just like Mr. Self said, other people were doing the presentation. We wasn't even doing any talking. And of course, what happened that month was $5,900 part-time. Guys, what happened in August was my heart changed. I was talking to so many different people that were looking for an answer, and I had the solution. And so what I did is I just said, you know what? I'm going to attach my heart to their vision, their dreams, their goals, and I'm going to help run for what they need. And because of that, mine just started happening as an automatic. Literally in the month of August, we earned a little right at $20,000 in the month of August. Reality was that my life was about to change. Literally what I saw was that the debt that was staring us in the face and was weighing us down, and literally we were wondering how we were going to do it, we also had the vehicle to pay it off. And last month in September, $24,000. I'm not saying this, guys, at all to boast nor to brag. It is literally all glory to God. But I'm going to tell you what happened was because we have an environment to grow and to learn and to succeed. And because of that, we took a hold to it. And the debt being paid off by the end of this year will be debt free. But what happened? Y'all, I married this man because I loved him, not because I wanted to spend time away from him. I was in total time debt. And because of that, literally it's brought back my time where we literally live life every day now together. What a life-changing experience. If it happened for us, it can happen for you. Thank you, Mr. Darnell Self, just for allowing us to be a testimony.
Thank you both for sharing your stories. And it's for me, I love to see other people being able to bless other people. And I always tell my mom always thanks me for things. I'm like, Mom, I'm blessed to be a blessing. And she has a neighbor who's in her 30s, and she just passed away with 3 kids, 5, 10, and 15. And so I wanted to contribute towards, the family's situation. And she was like, you're just such a blessing. I said, Mom, I'm blessed to be a blessing. And that's what Dr. Lowe is talking about. Guys, it's not just the money for you, but how many more lives can we change? How many communities can we change? So thank you both. And Brad Lowe, thank you for your service. 30 plus years, law enforcement, FBI, SWAT, U.S. Marshal, thank you for your service as well. Really appreciate you. Hey, we got one more for you all today. And Mr. James Kelly, I've had an opportunity to watch this gentleman from the very beginning all the way up to Millionaires Club. The company inducts you into the Millionaires Club once you have been paid over $1 million. That's not coupons or Groupons. So we're proud of you. We're excited for you. Over to you to share your testimony.
Absolutely, sir. It's an honor to follow in your leadership as well as in your footsteps. And I'm grateful to be able to share our testimony today. My name is James Kelly. My wife and I, Kanitha, we got started with LegalShield 21 years ago. I was 27. I owned a barbershop. My wife owned a styling salon. We love what we did. but we hated the fact that we were spending 60 to 70 hours a week apiece away from one another and our 4 children. And we wanted things to be different. And a wealth mentor said, if you want something different, you got to be willing to do something different. So we plugged into this system. We got started on a part-time basis, only working about 7 to 10 hours a week. In 4 months, made over $6,500 in extra income within our first year, hit executive director with no industry experience. And I was able to retire my wife, Kanitha. She became a full-time stay-at-home mom. And about a year later, at 29, I was able to shut down my barbershop. And we started traveling the country doing what we feel like God has purposed us to do, and that's to liberate other people. And the blessing, folks, is our best month now has been a little bit over $55,000 in extra income on a part-time basis because of the establishment of a network and a team of giants whose shoulders that we stand on that are better than us. And even bigger than the money, folks, has been because that money was there, it allowed us to be able to help 3 family members last month who were in need of getting to college with new vehicles and helping a person move into their home. So we could actually be the bank for our family instead of them having to go to the bank. And so we're not just leaving a legacy family, we're actually living a legacy. And that's what this amazing company gives us the ability to do with Team Division, sir. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. And you guys got me all emotional over here. You know, in my 50s, I get emotional easily. So I appreciate you all. Listen, guys, thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us today. And thank the person who invited you to check this out. Typically, people fall into one of 3 categories. The first type of person says, hey, this makes sense. You could have shut up a long time ago. Like, honestly, when you said we can get these type of services for about $1 a day, I know people right now that I need to share this with. And so we welcome you to the team. We look forward to working with you all. And we're excited to hear your testimony in the future. The second type of person says, hey, look, sounds good, but I'm just interested in the services. And that's awesome. It's not just, that's an awesome thing. So take advantage of the services. You're going to love it. And if you would, refer the person who invited you to check this out to some other people who you feel might gain value from our services as well. I think we should all support one another in our communities. And so thank you for listening and congratulations on being a customer, a member of LegalShield. The third type of person says, hey, look, I've got questions. And that's awesome. Questions aren't bad. Questions are great because we want you to make a wise and well-informed decision. So get back with the person who shared this information with you, and they're going to connect you with someone who can get all your questions answered. That way you can make a decision on whether this is for you or not. And if it's for you, we look forward to working with you. We look forward to helping you, and we look forward to celebrating you as you achieve your goals. Thank you all for having me as your speaker today. God bless you all. God bless you guys. And thank you for our testimonies as well. Take care.